Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Pragya's Gurukul. Let me start with these chemical reactions. Can you guess whether these 5 types of chemical reactions are of same type or different types? Let me help you. In the first reaction, nitrogen and hydrogen gases combine to form ammonia. Whereas in the second reaction, calcium carbonate when is heated breaks down into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. In the third reaction, zinc displaces copper from its chloride. In the fourth reaction, lead and potassium exchange their positions. In the last reaction, oxygen is removed from copper and added to hydrogen. Now, what will be your answer? Yes, these 5 types of reactions are definitely not of same kind. Today's video is on the types of chemical reactions. So, let's begin. In our previous videos, we have understood that chemical reactions involve simply the exchange of partners in the reactants to form products. Such exchange of partners in the chemical reaction take place mainly in 5 different ways. This results in the 5 types of chemical reactions: combination, decomposition, displacement, which is also called simple displacement reaction, double displacement, and last one is redox reaction. In this video, we will learn the first 2 types of reactions, that is combination and decomposition reactions. We will discuss the other 3 types in our next video. Starting with the combination reaction. The reactions in which 2 or more reactants combine to form one single product are called combination reactions. For example, as you can see here, hydrogen and oxygen gases combine to form one product, which is water. Remember, combination reactions are also called synthesis reactions. Why? Because new substances are synthesized or formed during such reactions. Next important point is only one product is formed irrespective of the nature and number of the reactants. The number of the reactants can be either 2, 3, 4 and so on, and nature can also may differ. Now we will discuss what kind of chemical combination can take place. It can take place between 2 or more elements. For example, coal burns in oxygen to form carbon dioxide gas. Here, both the reactants, that is carbon and oxygen, are in their element forms. Similarly, during the formation of ammonia, during Haber's process, nitrogen and hydrogen gases combine. Here also, the reactants, that is nitrogen and hydrogen, are also in their element forms. Number 2, between 2 or more compounds. Let's take some amount of quicklime in a beaker and add water slowly to it. You will notice the formation of slaked lime along with the evolution of heat. Here you can see that both the reactants are in their compound forms. One is calcium oxide, another is water. Now, what will be the nature of the reaction? Yes, it is exothermic in nature. Why? Because energy is evolved here. Similarly, when vapors of ammonia and hydrogen chloride are mixed together, a compound called ammonium chloride is formed. It is a white colored solid. Here also, both the reactants are in their compound forms. Number 3, between elements and compounds. The very common example is rusting. As we know, during rusting, iron reacts with oxygen to form oxygen and water to form rust. Here, as you can see, there are 3 reactants. One is in the compound form, which is water, and 2 are in their element forms, which is iron and oxygen. Okay. Now, if I ask you what is rust, then what will be your answer? Yes, it is hydrated ferric oxide. Always remember, you need to write the formula of rust as Fe2O3.XH2O. This XH2O means or represent that there are molecules of water of crystallization in the ferric oxide molecule. Okay, moving on. When nitric oxide and oxygen gases, which are colorless gases, are made to combine, A compound is formed which is nitrogen dioxide. It is a reddish brown colored gas. Here also one of the reactant, that is nitric oxide, is in the compound form and oxygen is in its element form. Moving on to the next type of chemical reaction, which is decomposition reaction. The reactions in which single reactant splits into two or more simpler products are called decomposition reactions. Remember, this is completely opposite to the combination reaction. Now, I have two questions. Number one, how does this reactant break down? Correct, by the application of energy, so as to break the bonds in the reacting species. Now, what will be the nature of this kind of decomposition reactions? Yes, this is an endothermic type of reaction, isn't it? Because energy is provided from outside or energy is taken in from the surrounding. The second question is, in what form energy is provided? In the form of heat or electricity or light. Depending upon the form of the energy provided, decomposition reactions are of three types. Number one, thermal decomposition. Here, energy is provided in the form of heat. Let's take the example of green vitriol. Its chemical formula is FeSO4.7H2O and its chemical name is ferrous sulfate heptahydrate. Hepta means 7. Here, there are 7 water molecules of crystallization present along with the crystals of ferrous sulfate. Now, if you take some amount of the ferrous sulfate crystal in a test tube and heat it for some time, then you will notice that the green color will be changed into a brown residue. This takes place in two steps. In the first step, 7 water molecules of crystallization are evaporated on heating and the color change will be from green to white. Now, what will be the white colored substance? It is FeSO4. Now, since water is removed from it, it is called anhydrous ferrous sulfate. Anhydrous means when water will be removed from a substance, it is called anhydrous. In the second step, what happens? Anhydrous ferrous sulfate is further heated to get a brown colored residue of ferric oxide along with the evolution of sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide gases, which are pungent and suffocating in nature. Now, as you can see here, the ultimate change is from green to brown. Number 2. Electrolytic decomposition or electrolysis. Here, energy is provided in the form of electricity. The most common example is electrolysis of water. In this setup, at first, water along with a few drops of any inorganic acid is taken as an electrolyte. Why acid is added to it? So as to increase its conductivity, that is electrical conductivity. Okay. 2 electrodes, which are mostly carbon or graphite electrodes, are used as anode and cathode and they are connected to the opposite terminals of a battery. When electricity is passed through the solution, you will notice the evolution of oxygen gas at the anode and hydrogen gas at the cathode. That means during this reaction, water is broken down into oxygen and hydrogen gases. Okay. Here is a very important point that you need to remember from the exam point of view. The volume of hydrogen gas which is evolved is twice the volume of oxygen gas. You know why? Because the ratio between hydrogen and oxygen in the water molecule is 2:1, which must be maintained according to the law of conservation of mass. Another important question that may be asked in the exam is, during electrolysis of water, which gas is evolved at the anode or cathode? The answer will be either oxygen or hydrogen. Okay. Number 3 is photolytic decomposition or photolysis. Here energy is provided in the form of light. Let's take few crystals of white colored silver chloride in a watch glass and place the watch glass under the sunlight for some time. The crystals slowly acquire gray color. You know why? Because silver chloride, when is exposed to sunlight, breaks down into silver and chlorine. The gray color is because of the formation of silver. Chlorine, as it is formed in the gaseous form, it will be escaped out. Okay. Similarly, silver bromide, when is exposed to sunlight, will be broken down into silver and bromine. One interesting fact here is that this type of chemical reactions are used in black and white photography. The photographic films contain photosensitive coatings made up of silver halides like silver chloride, silver bromide, etc. When they are exposed to light, they decompose to form to silver and bromine and the black and white photographs. To sum up, in combination reaction, only one product is formed, whereas in decomposition reaction, more than one product is formed from only one reactant. The combination reaction is also called synthesis reaction. Decomposition reactions are mostly endothermic in nature, and there are three types of decomposition reactions depending on the nature of the energy provided. They can be thermal, that is heat, electrolytic decomposition, that is electricity, and photolytic decomposition, that is light is used in this type of decomposition reactions. Hope you liked today's video. Thank you.